And we're back, and I have Angie Lohr with Hope Outreach. Welcome, Angie.
Thank you. Welcome to yourselves as well and to the volunteer fair coming up.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about Hope Outreach.
Well, HOPE stands for Helping Out People Exploited. Our HOPE exists to support vulnerable women on their journey to realize their own dreams, living a safe and healthy life. And so HOPE services women who are vulnerable on the streets of Kelowna, and we recently expanded to Vernon 2 years ago. We're the only women's nighttime outreach, or actually the only outreach at nighttime, to serve our women who are either homeless, exploited, or substance abuse, perhaps wherever we might meet them at their journey on the street level. Population age group runs anywhere from 14 years old. We have a few youths on the street, all the way up to 65 years old. So we go out in teams of 2 women volunteers every night of the week. They hand out outreach supplies, harm reduction, take bad date reports. And we also have a naloxone team, which serves men and women, that go out just to dispense Narcan, the anti-overdose drug for opiates, and just make sure everyone's educated that might be using or having friends use. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really important work. So this might seem like an obvious question, but how do volunteers make an impact?
Well, our volunteers, I believe, go out with compassion and understanding and non-judgment in their heart. But the impact that we hear from the women that we serve, again, we're the only team out at night. And we have great services in our community and great volunteers. But those services are usually during the day or within their own realm. And so some of our ladies just feel lonely and vulnerable, and our volunteers are just out there to build those relationships. We also help to protect the women in various ways, the programs that we have. And then also with the overdose crisis that we're experiencing here, especially in the Okanagan. It's really important for our team to be out there to educate people, to make sure that they've got their naloxone kits and their harm reduction, that we try and save lives. So our volunteers don't necessarily see the impact, but I believe in our community with just our support out there, offering services that maybe the women we meet might not know about if they're new to town, such as Now Canada, Alexander Gardner House, Kelowna Women's Shelter, Elizabeth Fry, services that they can go to that they might not know about. So we feel we're making a pretty good impact at nighttime.
Absolutely. Having somebody out there, it's very important. I can't imagine how lonely or scary it might be out there on the street.
Yeah. And especially through the COVID crisis we're experiencing. Services have stopped, obviously. Outreach had stopped for about 3 weeks, but we're very grateful for some of our frontline workers that were working the front line anyways. But again, it's hindered some volunteerism. People with immune systems, right, maybe haven't come back, as retained volunteers yet. But we do provide all PPE equipment, everything to protect you. We've got COVID protocols in space with distancing and masks and gloves and sanitizers and so forth. Our route has changed, so we've just adapted to fit the needs of where the women are that we meet at present, I guess. Right. To be changed, I'm sure.
Yeah, like many things.
Right.
What types of volunteer opportunities are available right now?
Well, our main gist is outreach itself. So 7 nights per week, we would like to be out there with 2 volunteers doing outreach at Recreation Avenue. Then we re-meet at the Safeway downtown and do Fuller Place, Cornerstone, the Street of Leon itself. And still with COVID, we're just ringing the doorbells at the shelters, but many, thanks to the community, many women have moved over into the low barrier housing or have been put into shelters. So it's been really nice to see that transition. So we still feel we want to support those women that we always have supported. And what a huge change they have undertaken from literally being homeless on the street to a shelter, now into one of the low barrier housing units. And to see those changes has really been a miracle ride, to see some of the women accomplish that. So very grateful. Yeah, so nighttime outreach. We also would encourage men to volunteer with our naloxone team. So men and women would go out and specifically dispense naloxone. So we're always looking for some men volunteers. And then if the street level maybe isn't for everyone, we do offer full training that would empower you to make that decision, whether that is for you. There is fundraising that could go on: coat drives, blanket drives, sock drives, anything maybe in the back level with our storage unit and supplies and events that we hold. So many opportunities over and above just the outreach level.
Absolutely. Are you currently looking for volunteers with specialized skills?
When we do a full intensive training, we're actually revamping some of our training just to include more psychology 101 training. We just feel with mental health issues and addiction and everything on the rise, and possibly not enough services to serve our people, that we really want to arm our volunteers with as much knowledge. So there's a full 2-hour intensive training. We possibly might bring in first aid. We don't really want to do first aid on the street level unless it's a bandage or just a light banding. But any additional skills, you know, social workers, counselors, psychologists, doctors, anybody with some background skills, yes, would just solidify, you know, the street level and how to work with the ladies that we work with. So no specific skills. We're into full training. 2 shadow shifts are then done after the training. And then the volunteer can then also decide through that actual street outreach experience whether they have any questions or any comments, or perhaps, you know, want to continue or maybe do some other stuff on the side.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the training, which is great. Do you have a requirement for how many hours per week or per month a volunteer can help out?
Yeah, so in order to keep our volunteers safe as well, a usual shift is 2 hours. Our volunteers go out at dusk. So winter hours would start at 6:30 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. As summer gets later and later for dusk, our volunteer shifts start at 8:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. By then, we hope that we have met most of the ladies, you know, through that short period of time. Try and get them to shelters that still have curfews, you know, until 11 p.m. and so forth. But minimum 4 hours, so that would mean at least 2 shifts per month. Maximum 14 hours, which would mean, you know, 1 shift per week. Just don't want our volunteers to burn out. You know, we give some trauma-informed training as well. And so we do have debriefing specialists after a shift if someone needs. So we just want to keep everybody safe and not burnt out, you know, at that volunteer level.
That's good to know, for sure. So if I wanted to volunteer with your organization, what steps would I need to take?
Well, we've just launched a website, a little more user-friendly, a little more updated. You can contact us on the website under volunteering, or they could email directly to info@hopeokanagan.com. So either through the website, we've got some orientations booked for the fall, September 20th being one, October 18th, and then I believe November 14th, but all that information is on the website. Come out and do an orientation, see if that fits, and then we would go from there.
Great, good timing on the orientations. Hopefully,
right?
Is there anything else you'd like an interested volunteer to know?
You know, just H.O.P.E is growing so rapidly this year. Myself, I stepped down as president to take on executive director, just to make some things and visions and projects. We've hired some new board members. We are in the process of hiring a volunteer coordinator for the first time, which is super exciting. Possibly expanding to some future cities, and just growing. So it's a very exciting time for H.O.P.E. We understand through the COVID crisis that could be a little difficult to attain, but just want to let everyone know that we practice all the principles. None of our shelters or street people have had any positive results. Even our clients that we do meet on the street or in the shelters have been so educated in social distancing and hand sanitizing. So we're just really looking for women and men who are looking to make a huge difference in our community and grow with hope, and our amazing team that we have right now.
Great. Thank you so much, Angie. Good
Okay.
learning
Thank
about
you, everyone.
the opportunities you have.
Yeah, very exciting.